Greetings to all of humanity. It's really a joy, it's a pleasure, it's an honor as usual to be out in nature and greeting you. Always bringing this message of emancipation to you, whereby I'm pointing you to look no other place but to look inwardly to discover your identity, to be your divinity. That's the reason why I want to speak to you today concerning embracing your black messiahs. And when I speak of Messiah, I'm speaking about those who have been sent to you to teach you how to grow higher in the place of consciousness, whereby you come to be one with your inner man, the man of imagination, which is the immortal man. Therefore, my brothers and my sisters, those who have come to you as messiahs, they would have preceded you in the awakening. They are not more than you. The only difference is that they have preceded you in the awakening, and they are teaching you how to save yourself. They're teaching you how to uplift yourself. They're teaching you how to better yourself in every area of life. And they will always teach you how to redeem yourself. They will always teach you how to understand humanity and how to respond to all your circumstances, because they will teach you that you are not the creature of circumstances, but circumstances are the creatures of man, and that you are the creator, the Lord and Master of your own destiny, and that it is your own thoughts that is creating your reality. So my brothers and my sisters, your black saviors are those who come to teach you to look deeper. Those are the ones who come to free you from colonialism. Those are the ones who come to free you with a message that will break all the bondage of secular Christianity. That's the reason why, my brothers and my sisters, I always teach you to look inwardly to discover your true identity, to be your divinity. Now, as you know, I always teach that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically. That the Bible is not literal, neither is the Bible secular history. And that the Bible is written symbolically, and from Genesis to Revelation 22, it all has to do with the human psyche. Therefore, it has no reference to anyone that existed thousands of years ago, or to any actual event that took place upon earth thousands of years ago. But majority of black people has been brainwashed. They have been manipulated from a very young age to believe in a God outside of themselves, and to believe in a savior, a messiah that doesn't even look like themselves. So in doing so, they are keeping themselves in a perpetual state of mental slavery, because those false saviors who are pretending to teach you the truth when it is actually a lie, they're keeping you from discovering your higher self. They're keeping you from discovering your mental faculties, such as your will, your perception, your reasoning, your memory, your intuition, your imagination. That's the reason why, my brother and my sister, since I was a little boy growing up, I would have always seen a picture in my grandmother's house with a man with blue eyes and blonde hair. I was told that such one was the Savior, the Messiah. And they said his name was Jesus. And me being so young at that time, I didn't know. I didn't have an understanding. But I want to share something with you about myself and why I am saying what I am saying to you. Now, many years ago, I sat just like how I'm sitting here with tears in my eyes as a little boy, and I beat my chest like this and I asked myself, who am I? And who is God? And there, I made a decision that my main ambition in life was to discover for myself who am I and who is God for myself. So at a very young stage, I decided that I'm going to take the journey to discover my identity through the pathway of Christianity. So at a very young age, I started the path of Christianity, of going to church. And as early as I would have done that, I would have had many mystical experiences. But there's one in particular I want to share with you to show you why I'm actually bringing this message to you and why you need to embrace and support those who have been sent to you. At the age of 17, I was given the coat of many colors. That's how I come to understand the story of Joseph. And as you know the story of Joseph, Joseph was a savior. But when you understand that the Bible must be interpreted psychologically, you will realize a true Joseph will teach you how to have the right mentality to create your personality and to live in prosperity instead of poverty. So, when I had that experience, and the voice spoke to me and says, I am he who have been spoken of old, and I am come. And when I was looking for a man to come from the sky with blonde hair and blue eyes, I never saw any man coming from the sky. But what I can tell you, I saw people who were frustrated and worried and who was running like to the mountains. People who wanted to die and they couldn't die. They couldn't find peace. They couldn't find rest. But where I was standing, there was peace and there was rest. And there was a great gulf that was separating me from them. They can see me, I can see them, but they can't come over to that part where I was. And I couldn't go over to that part that they were, but they were tormented on that side. But everything was fine with me. And then is when I received the coat of many colors. And that's how I come to realize that the Bible is not a literal book. And that when it speaks about Joseph, Father gave him the coat of many colors, it is not speaking about a piece of cloth around a man's loins. I was given a halo over my head in the form of a rainbow. That's how I know the rainbow is the coat of many colors. And it is the signature of God, which is a higher self, your immortal self. That is why it is said a rainbow is around the throne. And that's how I come to realize that I am the throne room of God and you are the throne room of God. And that is why you have to get into fellowship, into communion, through meditation and desire. So you can behold your manifestation. Because you are the creator. And your own human imagination is the creator in every man. That's the reason why you're told that without imagination isn't anything made that was made. And that all things were made by him, which is your own human imagination, the creator in everyone. Now let me go on. That was when I was 17 years of age. And you know that Joseph represents your Christ self, your higher self. that will take you out of the famine, that will set you free, that will teach you the things you need to know about yourself. Now, when I was about to turn 30 years of age, I remember the time I was 29. I remember I told a brother named Raja that when I turned 30, that something great was going to happen in my life. And when I turned 30, I remember I felt led to get a player. So I went and I bought a player. And I used to put that heavy player in my work bag that I would take to me at work. And I would listen Harbour Light of the Windmill, which was like a gospel station at the time. All the time I was still involved in Christianity, secular Christianity. And I remember one day while working in the post office, a lady named Miss Dover called me and gave me a box of tapes. And she said they were in the post office for over 3.5 years because no one have ever came and collect them or claim them. And to send them back all the way to either America or Canada, wherever they came from, that would have cost the post office some money. So she decided was to give them to me. But she said that other people would have come to her mind was to give them to them, such as certain preachers and so on. And she told them about certain preachers who she thought of probably just give them because she believed it had to do something with gospel. But she said afterwards she was inspired to give them to me because something said to her they belong to me. So she gave them to me, and when I look at those tapes, I see written on them William Branham, William Branham, William Branham. At the time I didn't know who William Branham was. So I had those tapes and I was listening to them, and the first one I listened to, it was called God is Known by His Characteristics. So I listened to it and I was saying to myself, what this man is saying is making sense. Okay? But to cut a long story short, I keep asking the guy who was living next door to me to go on the computer, because he used to work at an internet cafe, and at that time computer wasn't so popular. I think it was around, say, 1999, could have been around 2000. And he keep forgetting all the time to check out who was this man, William Branham, who he's all about. But I keep listening to the tapes over and over, especially at night, saying I was actually living alone and so on. And one night, my spirit told me to go and lie down and I would receive a dream. And in that dream, I saw myself riding and like a great beast, like a mighty eagle. But it looked like the animal, if you have ever seen the movie Avatar, that the guy who was going to lead his people, he had to ride his beast above this other beast to get on the back of this beast, and anyone who ride this beast was the one who was chosen by the people to lead them. I was on something like that, and I was almost, I would say, like conscious but yet still asleep. So I said to myself that it was about to fly through water and I have to hold my breath. So I decided to hold in my breath. And when it went through, I realized it was not water, it was a cloud. And I found myself like in another dimension. And when I found myself in that another dimension, I became like a child again, like a small boy. And there a voice began to speak. And right away, I realized that voice was the same voice that spoke to me around 1990 as a young man, when I received the coat of many colors. And then when that voice began to speak, there was a great earthquake. The earth was shaking. I could have heard that unearthly wind blowing also. And there I saw a man. Sorry, I actually went ahead of myself. Real far ahead of myself. I missed out something. I must go back to that part. Because when I went into that dimension, a light came to me. And it came across my eyes, and a voice said, "This is for your eyes." And things fell from my eyes as if it was scales that fell from my eyes. And then that The halo of light moved into a distance and became a great fire. But the bushes were not consumed that it was burning. It wasn't consumed. And a man came from the fire and began, well, I wouldn't say he began to speak because his mouth wasn't moving, but I was hearing the voice that was speaking. Okay? And the most shocking thing is that this man was a black man just like me. So here I was, like a little boy again, and here was this more mature man just in something like a dashiki of many colors. Okay? And to be honest with you, if I was a Rastafarian, I might have said that is Selassie. If I was a Rastafarian, okay, and if I didn't believe in a God outside of myself and hold to the kind of belief like Rastafarians hold to and Christians hold to, because they believe in power and a power outside of themselves. They believe in others outside of themselves. But I believe in the power that is within me. Okay? So I'm not going to bow to no man outside of myself. Okay? Because each and every one of us are connected. There's only one universal consciousness. So yes, as I was saying, so this man was there standing and he was speaking. And between both of us was a river. And there was a bridge that you can cross over. But I was over the next side, he was over the next side. And the voice began to speak. And as the voice began to speak, I could not understand the language. But I know it was the same commission that was given to Moses that you would read in the Bible. And the only thing that I could have understand in English was, I am sending you. I am sending you. Every time it reached a point I said, I am sending you, that is what I understand. He's saying in English, and I am sending you. So when I came out of that dream, and I started telling everybody in church and all that, nobody could understand the dream. Everybody just telling me, just watch the dream. But from that time, I realized that when I turned 45, I would know my purpose, I would know my calling. But I didn't know this was the path it was going to take. And it happened exactly as it's been inspired to me. And that was when I come to a higher state of consciousness and experience the virgin birth, the birth from the skull. And that's how I come to know the Virgin Mary story is a lie. And presently I'm doing a book called The Secret Vagina. And I will have done a lecture on Amazon also called The Secret Vagina. It's on Amazon Prime. And also, right now I'm penning a book called William Branham Decoded. So all of these things I've been through these experiences to bring a message of liberation to you. To bring a message of emancipation to you, my brothers and my sisters. And that is why anyone will be following me for a number of time, and they will have gone back to my older videos when I now started. They will hear me all rebuking my brothers and sisters at the Third Exodus Assembly and telling them that the message of William Branham had two sides, exoteric and esoteric. That's why in those older videos you will always hear me talk about like William Branham and so on. So I'm just sharing a little bit of my experience with you. And I'm encouraging you to always support and embrace your saviors, those who've been sent to you, because the sender and the sent are one. So my brothers and my sisters, there are many who have been sent to you and you overlook them. And that is why many of our people are embracing false saviors. Many are still worshiping an idol named Jesus. Many still believe that the Bible is secular history. Many still believe that the Bible is literal. So my brothers and my sisters, I'm encouraging you to stand with me. I'm encouraging you to support me. Support this work on Patreon. Support this work also by letting me be your mentor. Let me mentor you. Let me help you in whatever area you need help. Because I will have had an awakened imagination. And anyone who have had an awakened imagination will come in to realize that they are the Christ man. I'm pointing you to discover your higher self. That you can discover your Christ man also, your higher self, your higher state of consciousness. So I would encourage you to check out what I have to offer you on Patreon and be a part of this work, be instrumental in this work, and learn to embrace. See, I'm doing a video. And learn to embrace your saviors. Learn to embrace those who are sent to you to help you to grow. So yes, my brothers and my sisters, this is what I wanted was to say to you. I wanted was to just share a little bit of my experience with you so you know a little bit more about me. I'm not just out here trying to make videos. I am not a scholar. I don't have scholarship. I can't tell you about all the different books. I can't tell you much about Kemet. But I know one time I was making a DVD and I was led to do the 42 laws of Ma'at, which I didn't even know much about that. When I was doing the entrepreneurial secret, the secret of entrepreneur, something like that. Okay? So I think I still have the video. It's an hour long. I think what I will do, I will upload it to my Patreon. So if you're one who been supporting this work on Patreon, you will see that video that I would have done concerning the 42 laws of Ma'at, and then at the end is where I show you the secret. It is a secret, and when you use it, you're gonna find that it's gonna work. You see. So my brother, my sisters, I want to thank you very much, and I want to encourage you as usual to support this work. And if you haven't subscribed already and this message I'm bringing to you is resonating with you, I'm encouraging you to subscribe, to like, to comment, or to share this work. Also, I want to remind you that this message I bring to you is the single eye message of self-realization, of which Matthew 6:22 says, if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. And my brother, my sister, hadn't it been, I would have had that experience, whereby I would have awakened within myself like a fiery being. I would have heard the unearthly wind, and ascend up on high, and exit my skull and became invisible, and come to understand that as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so the Son of Man shall be lifted up. And understand that the Bible is your own biography, and Moses means to be born. It's all about you. Have there been that have come to have that experience and show you how that experience fit up with the experience I would have just explained to you when I was 30 years of age and when I was 17 years of age also. I would have been here, always giving you the symbol of the single eye. Many times with my hands rest on my crown chakra, and sometimes my hand above my crown chakra. Showing you that when you have the experience, you come to realize that you will come to realize that it is the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N, and that it is the dawning of a new day in your life. And that the single eye is not an evil eye. It is the all-seeing eye of the God within you. But they want to deceive you and keep you in false Christianity, but they want you to bow to an idol and believe in a power outside of yourself. So they use propaganda to tell you the single eye is the all-seeing eye of some Lucifer, when there is no devil, but your lower self, your negative self is the devil. Therefore, my brother and my sisters, you will come to realize that without the sun, as in the S-U-N, there is no life and there is no light. And that the Son is the giver of all life. Yet they give you an idol named Jesus and tell you that he is the light of the world. But there is no S-O-N that could be born in this world unless there must be the S-U-N. And that is basic common sense. So my brother and my sisters, when you come to realize that the Son is the giver of all life, you will also come to realize that the Son parallels the human imagination, and the human imagination parallels the Son. For without the human imagination, there isn't anything made that was made. And without the sun, there is no life and there is no light. Therefore, my encouragement to you is to use your mind power, which is your solar power, your sun power, your creative power, your God power, to achieve your every desire and learn to embrace all of your black messiahs. So that me said, I want to say peace, love you all, I'm out.